Hi guys. Today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about something that I've been doing for a couple years now, and I don't know why I never made a video about it, but it's 3D printing. This is a Magneto helmet that I made for a Christmas gift for my best friend James, who you've seen in the videos. This this thing is printed in PLA, and it is way too big. Yeah. So, back to the drawing board on that one. But there's something else I wanted to say. So if you'll notice, there are some problems with it. I mean, you'll see all these little lines, and then this broke off, and this is ugh. See that? Yeah, it's not a good print by any means, but it's salvageable. It's just you have to get, somebody like, I don't know, got a head like Andre the Giant or something to fit in there, or it could just sit on the shelf. It's got a Magneto helmet on the shelf. It's probably just what we're gonna end up doing, because I've got another one printing, like I said. I mean, even as far as like this. The reason being is because I just recently purchased, like a couple months ago, this new 3D printer, the longer LK5 Pro. Now this printer is a great printer. It really is. It does a good job. And the reason I know this is because I replaced the fans on it, and now it works like a dream. It's printing another one of these, and it's looking very nice. And yes, I did resize it. So if you get this model is available on Nico Industries website. And if you do print it, I would recommend 95%. This is 100%. 95 seems to be the sweet spot as far as what I can tell. But I digress. Anyway, the fans were not allowing this left side, like there wasn't enough cooling on the left side. So the right side printed okay, it printed fine. You don't have all the issues that this side has. This side's the side with all the issues. So you don't have proper cooling all the way around. But thankfully, on Thingiverse.com, somebody uploaded this model for this fan shroud, and it is amazing. Interestingly though, I watched a YouTube video on how to install them and put everything together, and I did a bad, so don't do like I did, okay? Whenever you're wiring everything, make sure that you cover up the wires, like wrap them in electrical tape, whatever. Don't leave them exposed, because you might make a wrong move and you'll touch the positive and negative together, and that's what happened to me. And fire, it was like Back to the Future, just fire went down the wire all the way to the main board. And yeah, so $42 later, I ordered another board. It came in. Only problem is it had the LK4 Pro firmware on it, so I had to connect it to the PC, and then I had to reflash it with the right firmware and all that stuff. But that worked without a hitch, and now it's printing the new helmet. Yeah. So don't be an idiot like me. I'm not an electrician. I don't really know what I'm doing when it comes to that stuff anymore, I guess. I used to. No, I mean, I know what I'm doing. I know that you're not supposed to do that. Just, I had a moment of laziness, I guess. I didn't wrap the wire like I should. I was like, oh, I'll get to that in a minute. Let me just do this other thing over here real quick. I'll just be a couple minutes. And then, yeah, no, that didn't happen. When something happens and you just think, man, if I can just go back in time 1 minute, just give me a minute. I had that thought come in my head, and I had to just sit there, just goose fraba, I was just like, man, because that was so disheartening, because I knew that the only reason I got that was to do big prints. I'm gonna be doing Power Ranger helmets and things like that, just helmets basically. But The only reason I was doing that as quickly as I was is because I wanted to get this out to James for Christmas. But it doesn't look like it's going to happen because we're actually doing Christmas a bit early, which means, I mean, today is Wednesday, tomorrow's Thursday, which is when we're doing it. It's like 30% of the way done. So it's got like, I think it's up to here or something like that printed currently. So yeah. Anyway, but 3D printing is something that I've been doing for the last couple of years, like I mentioned, and we've been doing, we've been having tables at Comic Cons. We go to a couple of them every year. We've gone to a few, but you know, they're not all around anymore, and COVID didn't do any favors for the Comic Con. But yeah, I do sell models and everything. Gotta make sure you get that permission, you know. Or model them yourself, you know, either way. If you're interested in doing stuff like that, I mean, you can contact the people who model, you know, the helmets and masks and things like that. Again, I haven't sold this, it's for a gift. But you get in touch with them and they might ask for a cut of the profit or whatever, you know, but you can make money 3D printing. My base printer is an Ender 3, just a standard Ender 3. I never did the Pro or the version 2 or anything like that. And my Ender 3 prints beautifully. Like, okay, like this is a it's a piece of a lightsaber. I'm doing it in increments because I want it to be just perfect. I want to print them in different colors and things like that. And you can do it while it's, you know, going, you know, layer by layer. You can do a change in the filament and stuff like that, but I like doing it this way because I'm so used to it. I like to print it and then glue it back on after. I don't know, that's personal preference, it's just me. But the Ender 3 is an amazing printer, and it should be, like, I think it should be everybody's first printer. Just, but I'm kind of biased. It was my first printer, so of course I think that. But if you look at the internet, everything is kind of catered to it. Everybody, there's a lot of shows on YouTube that are dedicated to, you know, Ender 3 stuff. They got people that have like 10 Ender 3s and they just work with that, and that's fine. But if you want a larger build volume, I mean, because the Ender 3 is like, it's like what, $179? I mean, it might even be cheaper now because of the Christmas sale, especially since the V2 and they have a bunch of other Enders out there. But yeah, this was the longer LK5 Pro that did this. Now, like I said, like, it's printing beautifully now. You just have to go in Thingiverse and get I'll go ahead and I'll link the video in the description below of what I followed. Just, you know, like I said, follow it the way it's supposed to be, and take the proper precautions. Wrap it in tape. Have electrical tape with you whenever you splice wires. Wrap them up, or if you have the shrink tubing, that's even better. You know, I have some somewhere, I can't find it. We just moved into this house not too long ago, and we just got all our stuff from my childhood home to bring over here. The garage, can't walk in it. I have no idea what's all in there. After the holidays, we're gonna be going in there, so hoping to have my office set up. If you notice, like, around here, there's not much, there's nothing really decorated. I don't have anything like up on my action figures, on my shelves, on whatever. Like, nothing's on display. I've got some stuff on display in the living room, that's cool, whatever, but it's just, you know, normally I like to have a nice setup on. Anyway, I'm digressing a lot, but but anyway, that's the reason why for that. But going back to the 3D printing, yeah, you can make money doing it. We finish a lot of our 3D print. Like, I see a lot of 3D print tables, they'll just print something and, like, just, you know, set the model down like that, and it's, you know, they think it's printed, it's done. Well, no. Do some, you know, put some effort into it. Paint it. You know, see all this? Like, I can totally fix this helmet. You know, just sand it down. Maybe you might need to put some Bondo or whatever. I like to use wood glue. Yeah, well, to strengthen it. Like, if you see this one, the layer, like, you see how it's kind of like moving? Yeah, I put wood glue in there and it stops that from happening. Like, it's amazing. Wood glue and PLA. But then also there's wood filler, and that's what you're going to be using for all this junk up here and stuff. First you got to sand it down, then you could fill in the gaps with that. And once that dries, I mean, you're just sanding it some more, and so there's a lot of sanding, basically what I'm saying. But then you prime it, filler primer, paint it with spray paints, and then you're good to go. It's really strong and durable, regardless of what you hear, because I mean, this isn't a good print. You see like some little things, but normally, good stuff. I think I have 20% infill in this one, which I don't know if you can see. I'm trying to get like a good viewing of it. I don't know if you can see the infill. You can see my hand through it. Yeah. But yeah, I bought a whole pack of Power Ranger helmets from Eco Industries, actually, and I'm gonna be printing them out and setting them up in my office. 3D printing is great for cosplay. I mean, it's not like it used to be. You don't have to deal with, well, I mean, people use EVA foam. That's awesome. I do not have that kind of time or patience. I mean, I do the sanding and the filling and the priming, all that stuff like that. That takes time, and I do that. I'm glad that I have months in between the shows that we do. But as far as EVA foam, man, there's no way. Like, my wife crochets. She crochets these monsters and everything for the booth, and they're the biggest seller that we have. I don't know how she has the patience for that, because she is the most impatient person that I know. So I guess it depends on what, if it's something that you're into, or, I guess, if it puts food in your mouth, on your table, whatever, then yeah, you kind of have the patience for it. I guess really that's all I really wanted to tell you was yeah, it's really easy to get into 3D printing nowadays. You can get the Filament on Amazon. If you have Amazon Prime, it's free shipping. It comes in 1 kilogram rolls. It goes by weight, and I think it's like it ranges from like, well, $12, $15 to $20 per roll, depending. I recommend PLA. It's the easiest thing to print with. If you go with ABS or whatever, it's a lot harder, because like you get like a little draft or whatever, it's gonna warp. And I only have 1 roll of PETG filament, and it prints okay. It's just much higher. I mean, it's harder to stick to the bed, but my bed is the flat bed on it. It's on my Ender 3, it's like ridiculously sticky, and I don't know why. I just keep it clean all the time, I guess, but like I hear a lot of people say they have bed adhesion issues, so just gotta play with the settings. And Cura, yeah, if you're wanting to go in Thingiverse and get started with downloading models and just checking them out in your computer, you can download a Cura slicer, because you need a 3D program to slice. Because like each one of these is a layer, it goes in like layers like this, and it prints up, and that's how this works. And I'm sure a lot of you already know this. I'm not teaching you anything that you don't already know, but there are a lot of people who don't know this yet. I mean, I've only learned it in the last couple of years. I thought 3D printing, because I remember watching on Big Bang Theory, 3D printing, they were talking about it like, wow, it's thousands of dollars, and they couldn't afford one. And I remember Wallowitz, whatever, wanted to get one. He got some figurines that he had ordered. He wanted to buy a 3D printer. But anyway, so now they're so much more accessible. The longer LK5 Pro that I got, I think it was, I'm trying to remember. I got it on a sale though. I ended up paying like $260 something for it, which is an amazing price for something that prints at that volume. I mean, look how big this thing is. This is all one piece, and the support, like this part right here, a lot of people think you have to print a big support in the center. I didn't have any support in the center. It just prints it like that, I mean, it's got, some issues because of the fan thing, but I mean, and it may be rough. I have no idea at the top, but that's what the sanding print. You're gonna have to do that anyway, so. Yeah, but download Cura Slicer. That's that's gonna set you up, and they have profiles that you can get online specific for your machine. And yeah, you get started today. Freaking what, 170 something dollars for an Ender 3? I mean, it's kind of like no excuse anymore to not getting to this hobby. It's so fun. Like for Christmas, I 3D printed a bunch of toys, like some flexible toys and stuff. You know, for kids, the kids, and like everybody. You know, my wife has a bunch of them that I made for her and stuff. So, I don't know, it's just fun, you know, stocking stuffers, whatever, functional things. I keep hitting this with my ring, I'm sorry. It's kind of hard not to fidget with it, you know, it's like just, you know, it's a cool big thing to have in your hand. I'm going to go ahead and put it down now. But like functional things, you know, like whistles, you know, you can have slinkies. Like I have a skull that's a slinky, and it actually goes down the stairs. A giant articulated frog that you could play with, you know, things like that. Like here's this thing. Oh, so this is going to be Haku from Spirited Away, but this is just it's a dragon that that's articulated. All this was printed in place, but it has little connectors inside of it. And my wife did this. She actually crocheted this as a strand, a chain, I think she calls it, and it poofs up. So I have to give this a haircut, obviously, and then, you know, the model doesn't look like this. I had to use a 3D pen to fix the nose and make these, and that's this sucker right here. So you can actually buy these. I forgot how much I paid for it. It might have been like 20 bucks, $25, something like that. They're really cheap on eBay. If you want to even get started on 3D printing by doing this, there's some excellent videos online. Like they have a guy who like did you could see how he did this, a skeleton of a figure, and then he made a Sonic the Hedgehog. He smoothed it out and everything. It looks like a figurine you buy at the store. It's crazy what you can do now. But mostly I use this just for like what you just saw, you know, just making things on an already existing print, or fixing a print that may have gotten messed up somehow. It's really good for like welding the pieces back together. Also, the end part can be used to smooth out. So yeah, there's that. But yeah, that's just kind of like just the whole point of this video. I just kind of wanted to show you guys that. What's going on there? But yeah, so if you want to get into it, there's a lot of great resources online. I recommend Chep, the channel in the description, and you'll see he's the one that that taught me pretty much everything I know about printing. I learned everything from that one guy. Well, you know, and some other folks, you know, they have Devin and some other Uncle, man, I'm just messing everything up. Uncle Jesse. There's just a lot of folks. So I'm gonna have like all the ones that I follow just down there. If you want to get into this, you could totally do that. But, and I haven't mentioned this yet, but not only is there FDM printing, you know, where you got the nozzle with the lines, yeah, but there is also something called a resin printer. Now, one second. I got a resin printer too, and with a resin printer you can get, and I'm sorry about the front facing camera, but you can get some really ridiculously detailed small things. Like, it's nuts. This is what you use to make like miniatures for tabletop gaming. This is a print for let's see right here. Oh crap. Oh, there's a part down here I forgot to remove. I'm gonna have to remove it. So for James's son, this is gonna go to him, and it's Super Saiyan Goku, and he's got the whole the dragon. You know, he's got the Dragon Ball in there, and yeah, and the detail is just so awesome. I don't know if it's gonna focus. I have no idea. I never use this front-facing camera, but it's not gonna focus. That's fine. But yeah, so small figurines, perfect. And you can get pretty good results with an FDM printer, especially if you use a smaller nozzle. You can get down to 0.1 millimeter, but I have a 0.4 millimeter is basically the way you want to go. I just buy a bag of those, and I buy the whole sets, but I never use the other sizes because that to me is the perfect size. So yeah, and I usually print at 0.2 millimeter layer height. So, and that's what this layer height was at. And you can see like the shininess, and it's, you know, that's pretty good. That's a good sandable height. But you could do like the 0.12, and that would make it to where it's like nice and party. And that's let's see, yeah, that's what this is modeled on. You can see like it's shiny and it looks perfect without any issues on there. So yeah, either way. But yeah, if you want to get into like a tabletop miniatures, resin printing, I can't stress that enough. The only problem is pretty stinky stuff. I got a resin printer, and I got the washing and curing station, because it cures with sunlight. Sorry, I have MS. Sometimes it's like it doesn't come to me. The sunlight, the UV light, yes, that thing. So it cures in UV light. It has a little turntable, and yeah, I think I got that on sale for Black Friday. Altogether, see, it was 100, and I'm gonna put the prices up there because I don't remember. How much it was. I know it was all under $300. I think that might have been $260. I'm even thinking of that. I'm gonna have to look at the prices on there. But yeah, I mean, it was a great price for what you get, and I had a little shipping issue, but other than that, no issues. But I've been having fun with it, and stuff that you really want to get that detail out of. Like I've made for James's daughter some earrings. It's the same translucent green. Some little some earrings of a sea turtle, and also the same sea turtle but in a pendant. She loves sea turtles, so stuff like that. And it's just it's so cool because not only do you get like all that amazing detail, but the build volume, you can get like a 6-inch figure on that thing, because of the Z height. You know, it goes like, so you can have like a full figure. So the possibilities, like, and there's no like post processing. I don't have to sand it or anything. I mean, you could, but I don't see why you would. Even like whenever I use the supports, because unfortunately you have to use supports in some things. It has to stick to the build plate somehow, and you can't just print in midair. I wish it could. You know, we cut down a lot on time, but there are tricks to get around to make prints faster. And you know, the people that I put down in the description, they have videos on that, so check those out too. But yeah, it's definitely something that I'm happy that I got into, and I only just got that like for Black Friday. Like I said, I bought it, and it finally came in. It was stuck on those container ships out there. It was stuck there forever. Like I was just sitting there waiting and waiting. I never got any update. I emailed them. I'm like, what's going on? They said, well, you know, the crisis that's going on over there on the West Coast, yada yada yada. Okay, yeah, I know. I've been watching the news. I get it. So I waited, and it finally came in. Got it all set up, but yeah, I learned about those supports. You gotta get those on there. But what's cool is it already comes with preloaded on the little SD card it comes with. Well, no, that one came with the USB stick. It comes with the software already for it, so you can, you know, start up right away, and it has like the automatic support feature, so you're good there. It wasn't a whole lot of like, it wasn't a big learning curve because, you know, I've been using Cura for so long. But if you're just starting out, I wouldn't start with a resin printer just because it's so much more hassle, I guess you could say. Learn the nuances of an FDM printer first. So I would recommend personally myself the Ender 3 or version 2 or the Pro, whatever. Um, there are upgrades you can get for it. You can get the BL Touch, which I never got because, and what that does is it auto levels the bed. Um, you have to level your print bed, otherwise you'll have some parts that it's, the nozzle's digging into it and it's not extruding the filament, and some parts it's just printing in air because it's not level. So you do have to deal with that, and basically you just set it down, and you got to turn the knobs and use a piece of paper and everything and try to get everything tugging the right way. But if you have the BL Touch, you don't have to deal with that. I never got the BL Touch. I think it was like $50 or whatever, and that just seems like an unnecessary purchase because the paper trick works just fine. So if you're just starting out, just do that first. It's kind of like, if you go to film school or whatever, they have you learn on actual film. You have to cut and splice film the way that they did before, even though nobody uses film anymore. It's all digital now. They kind of want you to learn from the beginning that way, because a lot of terminology is still used. And from there, like they're still called films, for instance. I mean, that's kind of a dumb one, but yeah. But you kind of want to learn the basics of everything. So yeah, I wouldn't get that right away. I mean, unless you got the money and you want to do it. I'm not going to tell you what you do, but hey. But yeah, that's about it. Couple of years now, I've made a lot of money on it, and it's been a lot of fun. What's another thing that's great is like something in the house breaks or whatever. You can't find a part right away, 2 in the morning. I mean, it's not like Walmart's 24 hours anymore at the time of this video. You can't just go out and buy something, but you might be able to 3D print the thing that you need. Even if it's not going to be permanent, it might get you through the night, or until you can get to the store at least. So a couple of times I have had to 3D print some things, and it's been amazing. So for that aspect of it, it's worth it. I think every house should have one, just to have your own little manufacturing thing. Because if you go on thingiverse.com or My Mini Factory or any other website like that has STL files, which is the 3D model, you can find pretty much anything you're looking for. Something that broke or whatever, somebody probably had it break too and they modeled it. And if not, if you're good with a CAD program, you might be able to just get it done yourself. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all I wanted to do in this video. In fact, I went a lot longer than I thought I would. So I'm gonna get to editing this video down a little bit, I think, or at least going over it with some imagery, because just sitting here slumped over on a couch for the whole time, it's just, it's kind of boring. But anyway, you know what? I've been wanting to get a gaming video out, and I always say that. I don't know. I always throw that out, but it's like I haven't had time for games. Like when I have the thought of like playing a game, it's very daunting to me. Most of the time, like I'm just so exhausted from work and stuff, and it just like mentally, it's just I just want to veg out. So I'll just sit there and I might watch somebody play a game or whatever. I'll pull up a YouTube video or whatever, and but to actually like just grab the thing, start it up, and play, it's just so daunting to me. But in any case, hopefully we'll have something for Christmas. I know this is a pre-Christmas video kind of, but there is I'm gonna be doing like spicy challenge things, whatever, because we're gonna be opening some for Christmas, and I don't know if you guys like that or not, but we like doing it. Me, not as much as he does. He usually gets me to do it, but this time I picked up some, so we'll see how it goes. I really don't want to do that like devil's toenail thing that he has. That lollipop you got to keep in your mouth for 5 minutes. I don't want that. I mean, I got some hot sauce. I'll do some hot sauce, but I don't want to do that. Not that lollipop thing. If it tastes like I think it's gonna taste, I don't know if I'll probably. I don't want to think about it. It's it's not. So yeah. Basically, I'm going off on a tangent. You guys have a great day. Have a happy holiday. Enjoy this time of year. be with family, friends, loved ones, and just, you know, do what you do. Thank you. Later.